My child, before time ever spoke your name aloud, I whispered it in eternity. Before your breath ever met air, your spirit was cradled in my intention. You are not an accident of earth. You are a design of heaven. Every detail of you was not just noticed, it was crafted. Your voice, your tears, your laughter, your longings, each one formed by my hand, each one carrying pieces of me. I want you to pause here. Take a breath. Let this truth find a home in you again. I am not distant. I never have been. You've searched for me in the loud places, in the sermons, the platforms, the applause, but I was always in the stillness. I never needed you to shout to hear you. I never needed your perfection to love you. I've always been drawn to your surrender. That's where I dwell. You've walked through rooms where your name was never called, where your gifts were never received, where your presence was tolerated more than treasured. And yet, you kept walking, you kept giving, you kept trusting. That didn't go unnoticed. Not in my kingdom. I see faithfulness not just in the fruit, but in the root. In the unseen places where you said yes with trembling hands and tired eyes. Let me tell you something the world never told you. Your value was never attached to how many saw you, but how deeply you let me see you. I've watched you pick up pieces of dreams that others stepped over. I've seen you love without needing to be loved in return. I've counted every prayer you whispered through tears, every act of kindness you gave when your own heart was empty. You have lived with open hands even when nothing came back. That is not failure. That is faith. And now I am shifting the atmosphere around you. Not because you earned it, but because you endured. Not because you proved yourself to others, but because you trusted me in silence. The places where you cried alone, I was there. The moments where you questioned if your life mattered at all, I held those doubts in my hands, not to shame you, but to answer them with my presence. Every seed of obedience, every tear of surrender, every unseen act of worship has become a harvest of promise that I am now watering with my breath. This is not just a comforting word. This is a holy summons. The season is turning. You're not behind. You're not forgotten. You're not unworthy. You are right on time for what I've been preparing. Let me speak to what hurt you. Let me go back with you to the places you'd rather not revisit. Not to re-injure, but to redeem. I want to walk through the memories with you. The ones that still echo rejection. The ones that still replay words that never should have been spoken. I was there when they doubted you. I was near when they dismissed you. But child, I never agreed with their assessment. I never reduced you to their opinion. You've looked in mirrors distorted by others' projections, and I am wiping them clean. I want you to see yourself the way I do. Not broken, not too much, not too different, but chosen, beloved, intentional. Every wound you carry is not a sign of defeat. It's a doorway for my glory. You kept showing up even when it cost you. You gave when you had nothing left but faith. You loved when it wasn't reciprocated. You served when it was inconvenient. That is not weak. That is strength anchored in me. The world measures success by the visible, but I build with the hidden. I shaped you in the quiet so the noise would never own you. I taught you to trust my whisper so the shouts of man could never define you. And now I speak with clarity. Come out of hiding, not from fear, but into fullness. I've not preserved you to keep you small. I've hidden you to make you whole. And now I am revealing what I've refined. You're not stepping into recognition. You're stepping into revelation. The world may finally see what I've always known. Don't mistake this unveiling as elevation for your name's sake. It's for my glory. Your voice has been seasoned by silence. Your hands have been strengthened by surrender. You're not here to impress. You're here to impact. So don't Shrink now. Don't quiet your spirit to fit into rooms I've called you to shift. You were never meant to adapt to the culture of comfort. You were designed to carry my fire into dark places. And that fire is kind. That fire is healing. That fire is holy. Let me remind you of the authority you carry, not because of what you've done, but because of who lives in you. You are not empty. You are filled. You are not lost. You are led. You are not overlooked. You are appointed. I know the timing confused you. I know the waiting tested your hope. But I was never late. I was layering you with resilience. I was anchoring you in identity so that when the wind came, you would not be moved. And now the wind is changing direction. What once came against you will now carry you. What once tried to crush you will now serve as the platform for my presence. My child, don't let the pain of the past cause you to resist the promise of the present. What I am doing now will not only redeem your years, it will reintroduce you to yourself. The version of you that doubted, shrank, questioned, she's not in charge anymore. The version that trusts, that stands, that remembers who she is in me, that's the one I'm raising up. You don't have to prove anything. Just be who I made you to be. My beloved, I know the silent wrestlings that never made it into your prayers, the days you kept walking not because you felt strong, but because giving up somehow felt like a betrayal of something deeper. You didn't keep going because it was easy. You kept going because somewhere inside, despite the ache, you still believed I was with you, and I was, and I am. I never waited for your faith to be perfect. I only asked for your surrender. You've been taught to strive, to perform, to produce, to prove. But I have not called you to exhaustion. I've called you to alignment, to communion, to walk with me, not sprint ahead of me, not drag behind in hesitation, but to match my pace. And now that you've learned the rhythm of surrender, I want to restore something sacred, the truth of who you are, not who grief shaped you into, not who trauma falsely named you, not who culture tried to box you into, who I declared you to be when I first dreamed of you. Before breath touched your lungs, I said, "This one will reveal my nature." And I meant it, so let me reintroduce you to yourself. You are not too much. You are not too quiet. You are not too sensitive. You are not too intense. You are not a mistake wrapped in effort, but a masterpiece wrapped in mercy. The parts of you that have been misunderstood are the very parts I'm going to use to speak. Your discernment. Yes, it made you feel strange sometimes, but that's because you were hearing my whispers in a world addicted to noise. Your longing for depth. It caused you to feel disconnected in shallow spaces, but that's because I built you to carry the deep waters of my spirit. Your ache for justice. It stirred anger in your chest. But that's because you reflect the lion, not just the lamb. You've tried to shrink these things, thinking they made you too much. But child, you are not too much. You are just enough to change the world I'm sending you into. I didn't shape you to blend in. I shaped you to carry glory. Let's talk about the wilderness, because the pain you endured there did something holy. It burned away the illusions. It stripped the noise. It revealed the idols, and it awakened the real. You learned to survive without applause. You learned to love without reciprocity. You learned to hope without evidence. That was not punishment. That was purification. You learned that peace isn't found in the absence of problems, but in the presence of me. You have been through the kind of breaking that doesn't just hurt, it redefines. And now, I am redeeming not only your life, but your lens. How you see yourself, how you see others, how you see me. The wilderness wasn't meant to break you, it was meant to build you, and build you it did. Now you know how to be faithful in obscurity. Now you know how to listen when I whisper. Now you know how to move when no one is watching. And that is why I can trust you with more. Let me say that again. I trust you not because you're flawless, but because you're formed. You have been forged in fire, refined in silence, tempered by time. You didn't run when it got hard. You didn't quit when it was dark. You stayed, and I saw that. Every time you felt invisible, I was watching. Every time you felt uninvited, I was inviting you deeper. Every time you were excluded, I was drawing near, and I never once took my eyes off you. You thought you were being passed over, but you were being preserved. You thought you were being silenced, but I was teaching you how to carry my voice. You thought you were being punished, but I was preparing you for something bigger than a platform. I was preparing you for presence. Now the foundation is laid, not of reputation, but of revelation. You know who you are when no one else affirms it. You know how to keep moving when no one is clapping. You know how to carry peace into rooms of chaos, and that is why the doors are opening, not to validate your worth, but to release your assignment. You are not being elevated to impress. You are being positioned to impact. This isn't about status. This is about souls. You carry what the world needs, not because you studied it, but because you survived it. You carry authority not from titles, but from tears. You carry wisdom, not from education alone, but from endurance. And I say this with all of heaven watching. You are ready, not in a way. The world defines readiness, not polished, not perfect, but grounded, rooted, unshakable. And I want you to walk from that place, from identity, not insecurity, from calling, not comparison, from conviction, not fear. You're not here to fit into the mold. You're here to break the mold. You're not here to echo the culture. You're here to carry my voice. So let go of needing to be understood. You weren't made to be explainable. You were made to be undeniable. Let go of needing to be accepted. You've already been adopted. Let go of needing to be praised. You've already been anointed, my child. I didn't raise you in private just to lose you in public. I will cover you as I carry you. I will sustain you as I send you. What's ahead is holy. It will stretch you, but it won't break you, because you've already been broken, and I rebuilt. You stronger. You've already been emptied, and I've filled you deeper. You've already been overlooked, and I never stopped seeing you. So step forward now, not with trembling, but with trust, not with doubt, but with direction, not with apology, but with authority. You are no longer waiting for the shift. You are the shift. And everywhere I send you, darkness will be disturbed. Every room you enter will feel my presence. Every word you speak will carry weight, because I have marked you not just for a moment, but for a mission. This is not the end of your story. This is the unveiling of your purpose. You've heard enough about who you're not. Now it's time to live like who you are. You are mine. Beloved, the journey before you is not a one-time event, but a continuous unfolding of my purpose. You will not wake up tomorrow with everything figured out. You will not step into the fullness of your calling all at once. But every step you take, every decision you make in alignment with me, will bring you closer to what I've designed you for. And as you walk, you will discover new dimensions of who you are and of who I am. Many expect the journey of calling to be one momentous leap, a single bold step into greatness. But I have not called you to a single leap. I have called you to a steady walk, a walk that teaches you how to trust in every step. In the early days, you may question, is this it? Is this really the path? You may not see the whole road in front of you, and the obstacles ahead may seem overwhelming, but I have not called you to see the full picture. I have called you to trust in my leading. You see, the fullness of my calling is not a destination, but a discovery. I will reveal it one moment at a time, and every piece that is revealed will stretch you. It will challenge you. It will shake the foundations of your comfort zone. But every stretch is necessary to grow. Every challenge is required to build the muscles of your faith. Every shake will uncover deeper layers of my purpose in your life. Trust me, beloved, when I say I have already equipped you for what you will face. The opposition may seem strong, but the power I have placed in you is far stronger. Remember, I have already defeated every enemy that will come against you. I have already silenced the lies. I have already broken the chains. I have already paid the price. Your calling is not dependent on your ability to make it happen. It is dependent on your willingness to let it unfold. I've heard your doubts, and I understand them. I've seen your fears, and I know them. But I ask you now, will you trust me in the unknown? Will you move forward even when the path is unclear? For some, the call may be to stand firm in a familiar place, to be the light in the midst of the darkness they know. For others, it may be to step into unknown lands, to take risks and move in bold faith. But wherever I lead, you will not go alone. Do you remember how I called Moses from the burning bush? How he stuttered and doubted? He was not ready in his own eyes. He was not equipped in his own strength. But he was called by me. And when he walked in obedience, I met him at every step. Do you remember how I called David from the fields? How he was just a shepherd boy, overlooked by his family but anointed by me? He didn't fit the world's idea of a king, but he fit my plan. And when he took the steps of obedience, I turned him into a giant slayer. Do you remember how I called Esther from obscurity? How she was placed in a position of influence not for her own glory, but for my purpose. She feared for her life, but she chose courage over comfort. And through her obedience, I saved a nation. And then, there is my son, Jesus, the ultimate model of calling fulfilled. Though he was the creator of the universe, he walked this earth in humility, obedience, and love. He did not take the path of ease. He did not choose the comfortable road. But through his life, death, and resurrection, he brought salvation to the world. These are your ancestors in faith, and I am calling you to follow in their steps. Not because you must replicate their journeys, but because their stories show you what is possible when you trust me with your calling. What I am saying is this: I will not call you to something I will not equip you for. The steps may seem impossible, but nothing is impossible for me. Will you walk with me? Will you trust my provision? Will you embrace my timing? Remember, the call is not about you. It is about the people I want to reach through you. The call is not about your glory. It is about my kingdom, my will, my name being made known. You are not walking for your own fame, but for my renown. Every moment of obedience will echo in eternity. I know it's hard to see now, but every act of faithfulness is like a seed. It may seem small at first, insignificant even, but it will bear fruit in due season, and the harvest will be far beyond what you can imagine. The path will not always be easy. You will face giants. You will face valleys. You will face moments when you feel like you are sinking. But do you remember how I calmed the storm? How I walked on water and called Peter to come to me? Even when you feel you're sinking, reach out to me. I will lift you. I will steady your steps. I will lead you through every storm. In the midst of the chaos, I will be your peace. In the midst of the confusion, I will be your clarity. In the midst of the uncertainty, I will be your certainty. My beloved, I am preparing you to walk into a season where my glory will be revealed through you in ways you cannot yet comprehend. You are not only walking towards your destiny, you are walking with me. and I am the destination. Everything that happens along the way is shaping you, refining you, preparing you for the final destination, where you will see me face to face. Every challenge is an invitation to trust. Every fear is an invitation to faith. Every obstacle is an opportunity for my power to be displayed through you. I am not calling you to a life of comfort. I am calling you to a life of courage, a life of faith, a life of radical obedience to my voice. So stand up, beloved. The path is not always easy, but it is always worth it. And I will be with you every step of the way. No matter how treacherous the road, no matter how impossible the task, I will give you the strength to keep going. So rise, walk, and know that every step you take with me. My child, I have not led you into the fire to destroy you. I have led you into the fire to refine you. You've walked through seasons that scorched the edges of your soul. You've endured moments when your heart cried out, "Why does it burn like this?" But what you felt as flame was not judgment. It was transformation. I do not send fire to consume identity. I send it to consume what cannot remain. Fear cannot go with you. Pride cannot survive the weight of what I'm entrusting to you. Insecurity cannot carry my glory. So I allowed the heat to rise, not to torment you, but to temper you. The furnace was not your prison, it was your proving ground. Remember the 3 Hebrew boys who walked into fire. They did not come out smelling like smoke. They did not come out singed or scarred. They came out with freedom from what had bound them. And most importantly, they were not alone. I was in the fire with them, and I've been in every fire with you. You didn't feel me because your pain was loud, but I was there whispering between the flames, "Don't give up, I'm here." I watched over every moment you felt forgotten. I surrounded you while you were in the furnace, not outside it, because I don't wait for your breakthrough to show up. I walk with you through the breaking. I saw the tears you didn't let fall in front of others. I felt the ache you refused to name out loud. I heard the sighs that came from your soul, not your lips. And I responded. I did not rescue you immediately, not because I didn't care, but because I was working in the depth of your soul where rescue is not enough. You didn't need escape. You needed transformation. And that's what I've done. What others saw as delay was actually my careful work of forming you from the inside out. I was weaving endurance into your breath. I was writing wisdom into your spirit. I was pouring oil where only ashes had been. And now, as surely as the flame once raged, the fire is fading. Not because you escaped it, but because you endured it, and what's coming next requires someone who has been through the fire and came out still tender. Tenderness. My child, don't lose that. The fire tried to make you hard. The betrayal tried to make you cold. The silence tried to make you bitter. But look at you. You're still soft. You still hope. You still believe. You still pray. That is not weakness. That is miraculous strength. It is evidence that you are governed by my spirit, not by circumstance. Let's talk now about strength, not the kind the world defines. Volume, control, domination. No, the strength I give you is different. It's the kind of strength that kneels in surrender, that forgives without apology, that remains kind when misunderstood, that stays faithful when nothing is returned. You carry that strength now, not because you feel strong, but because I am your strength. You used to think that being strong meant feeling nothing, but I am teaching you that true strength is feeling everything and still choosing love. The next phase of your journey will require a deep awareness of this kind of strength. Because I'm not just calling you to stand, I'm calling you to carry. And not everything I ask you to carry will be visible to others. There will be mantles you wear that no one applauds. There will be burdens I ask you to bear in intercession that no one sees. There will be tears you shed for others in prayer that won't be recorded in any history book. But heaven sees, heaven records, and heaven rewards. Do not underestimate the power of hidden obedience. I am raising you not to be popular, but to be powerful in the spirit. And sometimes power looks like silence, like discernment, like choosing not to speak, even when you know the truth, like stepping back when your flesh wants to step forward, like honoring me in secret when no one is watching. The world celebrates noise, but I anoint stillness. The world seeks spotlight, but I anoint shadows. And you, my child, have been faithful in the hidden place. You've prayed without recognition. You've obeyed without applause. You've wept without an audience, but I have seen it all, and I have stored it all. You thought your reward was delayed, but I tell you now, nothing done in secret is wasted in my kingdom. Let me speak now to your confidence, because I sense the hesitation. You feel the shift coming. You feel the winds of change, the invitations beginning to open, the opportunities calling your name, and yet, fear rises. What if I'm not ready? What if I fail? What if I misstep? Let me remind you of something foundational. You were never called to perfection. You were called to proximity. Stay close to me and I will make you ready in the moment. You don't need the confidence of self. You need the confidence of sonship, of knowing whose you are. You are not entering the next season as a performer. You are stepping into it as a child of the King. You don't need to earn the room. You've been sent by my Spirit. So speak with the authority of someone who has been with me. Move with the clarity of someone who listens to my voice. Serve with the love of someone who knows they are loved without condition. Let me lead you one step at a time. There will be days you feel unsure. There will be moments you feel out of place. There will be decisions you don't know how to make. In those moments, come back to stillness. Don't rush. Don't force. Let me speak. I am not a God of confusion. I am not a God of fear. I will confirm through peace, and I will guide with grace. So breathe. You are not late. You are not lost. You are not disqualified. You are in process, and I am not finished. Let the fire that refined you now become the light that leads others. You carry something rare now, something forged not in fame but in faithfulness, and I am not done multiplying the oil that came from your crushing. My beloved, I want to prepare you, not just for the open doors ahead, but for the weight they carry. Because what I am placing before you now is not just opportunity, it is stewardship. You've prayed for breakthrough, for elevation, for the promises to come to pass. And now, as they begin to manifest, I am asking you to pause and let me teach you how to carry what you've been given. This is not the time to rush. This is not the time to grasp. This is the time to receive with reverence. What I'm doing is holy. I am not opening doors just so you can be seen. I'm opening doors because what I placed inside, you must now be poured out. Not for show, but for shift. You will not walk into rooms to impress. You will walk into rooms to intercede. Your presence will not be about preference. It will be about purpose. There is a weight to this moment, a divine gravity pulling you into spaces you once felt unworthy to enter. But now that you've been refined, your identity is no longer up for negotiation. You walk as one who knows. You know what it costs to remain. You know the price of obedience. You know the depth of silence. You know the ache of surrender. And now, you carry something that no title can bestow. You carry authority born not from platforms, but from presence. The world will see the fruit, but they will not understand the root. They will not know the nights you stayed up weeping, the fasts you kept in secret, the friendships you let go of for obedience's sake, the self-denial that preceded the influence. But I know, and I remember, and I reward what is done in secret. So don't be seduced by recognition. Don't chase applause. You were never made to be fueled by it. You've already learned how to function without it. Now walk in that strength. Let me speak to your discernment now, because in this next season, you must not only walk through open doors, you must know which ones are mine. Not every opportunity is holy. Not every invitation is an assignment. Not every spotlight is safe. You must discern. When it glitters, pause. When it flatters, wait. When it feels too urgent, step back and listen. I will not lead you with pressure. I will lead you with peace, and you will know my peace by its stillness. You will recognize my voice because it doesn't compete, it calls. I am not raising you to build quickly. I am teaching you to build wisely. And wisdom is birthed in stillness, matured in counsel, confirmed in scripture. Return to my word. Let it be your compass, not your decoration. Let it cut where it must, heal where it needs, and guide where emotion cannot. For you will face moments that seem good, but are not of me. They will come dressed in language that sounds like purpose, but lacks the breath of my spirit. This is why intimacy must be your foundation, not gifting, not influence, not even knowledge, but intimacy. Do you remember how Jesus walked the earth? He never moved to impress. He never acted to gain favor. He moved when I said move. He spoke what I said speak. He healed when I said heal. He lived from communion, and that is how I'm calling you to live. This next chapter will be marked not by striving but by surrender. You will do less and see more. You will speak less and shift more. You will move slower and arrive exactly on time. Because this season is not about volume, it is about alignment. You must align your pace with my timing. You must align your choices with my counsel. You must align your relationships with my truth. Yes, let's talk about your relationships. Because as your assignment expands, your circle will shift. Some will walk away, and it will sting. Others will try to reattach, and it will confuse. But you must not anchor yourself to the familiar. Anchor yourself to me. Do not mourn the pruning. Celebrate the clarity. I am removing what cannot go with you, not because they are evil, but because they are not aligned. I don't bless mixture. I bless purity. And some people are still tied to the version of you that I've already transformed. They cannot walk with the you I'm revealing now. Let me choose your people. Let me appoint your mentors. Let me draw in the ones whose presence will multiply my purpose in you. You don't need a crowd. You need covenant. And covenant doesn't always look like agreement. It looks like accountability. Covenant friends will correct you when you drift. They will protect the oil on your life when you're tired. They will remind you of who you are when the battle gets loud. So don't seek numbers. Seek depth, and trust me, I will bring them. Now listen carefully. There is something I want to say to your inner child, the one who still flinches at rejection, the one who sometimes hesitates when celebrated, the one who still wonders if being seen is safe. To that part of you I say this: you are safe in me. You are not who they said you were. You are not the mistake you made. You are not the failure they remembered. You are my child, chosen, called, covered. There is no condemnation in me. There is only invitation. I'm not asking you to fake your way into purpose. I'm inviting you to be fully you, healed, holy, honest. You are not being elevated to prove yourself. You are being revealed because I am proving my faithfulness. Let that sink deep. This is not about you being enough. This is about me being faithful. You trusted me when it hurt. Now trust me when it heals. You believed me when it was silent. Now believe me when it sings. You followed me in the dark. Now follow me into the light. And when the doors open, don't question it. Just walk. When the favor comes, don't shrink. Just receive. You've carried the weight of obscurity with grace. Now carry the weight of glory with humility, because what's coming will not be light, but it will be holy. And what I've placed in you is more than enough to carry it. This is not the end of preparation. This is the beginning of purpose. So rise now, not to be seen, but to be sent. Beloved, now that you are walking in purpose, I want to teach you something vital: how to carry impact without letting it carry you. Because what I'm entrusting to you is not small, it is not random, it is not temporal, it is strategic, designed in eternity, meant to shape more than moments. It will shape generations. You are part of a pattern, not a performance. You are part of a blueprint, not a coincidence. What I've written for your life was never meant to stop with you. It was designed to be passed on, like breath, like light, like legacy. But legacy, my child, does not begin with applause. It begins with alignment. I must remind you, this is not just a calling, it is a commission. And every commission requires stewardship. So I must ask, can I trust you to carry what others forfeited? Can I trust you to finish what others feared? Can I trust you to build not what feels popular, but what is truly eternal? Because I am not raising you for fleeting fame. I am raising you to establish foundations. Some of what I'm giving you won't be recognized at first, not because it lacks significance, but because it is seed. It will take time to grow. It will take perseverance to protect. It will take faith to continue when no one else understands why you won't settle for less. But I am asking you not to settle, not for easier paths, not for diluted truth, not for borrowed blueprints. I've given you your own instructions directly from my throne. You've asked, why does it feel like I'm building differently? Because you are. You are not called to replicate. You are called to reform. What you carry breaks cycles. What you carry disturbs systems. What you carry rebuilds foundations that were cracked by compromise. And yes, it will cost you. It will cost you approval. It will cost you ease. It may even cost you relationships. But I promise you this, it will not cost you my peace. My peace will meet you in every battle. My peace will hold you in every storm. My peace will walk beside you when the blueprint feels heavy, when the loneliness of obedience tries to whisper, go back to comfort. But you won't go back. You've come too far. You've healed too deeply. You've heard me too clearly. And now you are not just carrying a dream. You are carrying a mandate. Let me remind you of something I told Nehemiah. Do not come down. You are doing a great work. There will be voices that try to distract. There will be opportunities that glitter but do not bear my glory. There will be easier ways, louder paths, tempting shortcuts. But I will remind you over and over, stay on the wall. Keep building what I gave you. Keep moving with the quiet confidence of someone who hears heaven more clearly than earth. And while others chase visibility, you will dwell in strategy. I am giving you vision that is not common. I am giving you insight that is not shallow. You will see what others miss, not because you are better, but because you are still. And stillness, true stillness, has become your secret weapon. In stillness, you hear me. In stillness, you reset. In stillness, you discern what no volume could ever clarify. And this stillness will sustain you when the movement around you intensifies. Because yes, the shift is accelerating. You've begun to notice it, haven't you? Time feels different. Doors open faster. Conversations carry more weight. Your words land deeper. The same seed now grows quicker. That is not in your imagination. It is a holy acceleration, but it is not random. Acceleration follows obedience. I am redeeming time, not to overwhelm you, but to reveal how I always had a plan. The years that felt wasted were not barren. They were building roots. And now the fruit is coming, not just in your life, but through your life. Because others will eat from what you've sown in tears. Others will drink from what you've dug in silence. Others will rest in what you've fought to build. And that, my child, is the reward of the faithful. Not applause, but impact. Not attention, but transformation. So let me prepare you now. Not for more striving, but for more stewardship. You will need to steward your time differently. What once felt urgent may now feel irrelevant. What once drained you must now be pruned. Not because it's bad, but because it's not best. I am teaching you the discipline of focus, because what I give you now must not be scattered. It must be cultivated. You will find yourself needing more quiet, not less, more clarity, not more connection. You will need to choose your yes with precision, not guilt, and you will no longer explain your obedience to those who haven't heard what I whispered to you. Let me say that again. Stop apologizing for the way I've asked you to build. They didn't hear what I told you in the midnight hour. They weren't there when I woke you from sleep to write the vision. They didn't see me mark you in the silence. But I did. And I'm not asking for consensus. I'm asking for completion. Let every decision reflect the revelation I've given you. Let every boundary reflect the value you now understand. Let every conversation reflect the grace and truth you carry. You are a living letter. Read not by eyes, but by spirits. What you carry is holy. What you speak must be soaked in my presence. What you release must be shaped by my voice. This is what maturity looks like. It is no longer about doing more. It's about doing what I've actually assigned. Let the assignments be few, but let the oil be pure. Let the words be fewer, but let the truth be weighty. Let the rooms be smaller, but let the glory be thicker. Because I'm not interested in numbers. I'm interested in names, souls, destinies. And you, my child, you are part of that holy chain reaction. You are not just doing this for you. You are breaking things off your bloodline. You are healing what generations carried in silence. You are building what your children's children will stand on. This is the weight of glory. And you will carry it not with pride, but with peace. Not with pressure, but with posture. So lift your eyes, straighten your shoulders, steady your hands. You are no longer surviving. You are stewarding. You are no longer asking if you're ready. You are walking because I said you are. And I do not lie. My child, it is time to walk in authority, not as a concept, not as a distant ideal, but as your reality. I've spoken identity over you. I've healed what history tried to distort. I've refined what pressure tried to break. Now I'm placing something on your shoulders that cannot be bought, borrowed, or faked. A mantle. It's not heavy because of burden. It's heavy because of power. This is not the kind of authority that shouts to be heard. This is not the kind that demands recognition. The authority I give flows from intimacy. It is quiet confidence. It is still conviction. It is presence that shifts atmospheres before you ever speak. This mantle is not for status. It is for service. It is not for display. It is for deliverance. Because what I've brought you through wasn't just about your breakthrough. It was about breaking chains in others. It was about showing what is possible when someone stays faithful to my voice over man's applause. And now that you carry that kind of fire, you must understand this. Your voice has power. Not because it's loud, because it is aligned. You speak now as one who knows where the authority comes from. Not from your education, not from your gifting, not even from your experiences, but from me. And because of that, you must stop second-guessing your voice. You must stop diluting your words to avoid discomfort. You must stop withholding truth because it might unsettle the room. I didn't give you revelation to store it. I gave it to you to release it, with compassion, with grace, with courage. I know you've been afraid before, afraid of being misunderstood, afraid of being seen as too much, afraid of what will happen if you truly live unrestrained. But let me tell you the truth. Fear is a liar. Fear is not humility. Fear is not wisdom. Fear is not discernment. Fear is a thief. And I am silencing the ye. Fear that has kept your mouth quiet when I told you to speak. I am dismantling the lies that told you you weren't qualified. I am severing the shame that whispered, "Who do you think you are?" Because I know exactly who you are. You are the one I've trained in silence. You are the one I've trusted with secrets. You are the one I've refined through weeping and fire and obscurity. So now, when I say speak, speak. When I say move, move. When I say rest, rest. You don't need all the answers. You need my presence, and you have it. You don't need to wait until it feels safe. You need to walk when I say it's time, and I say now it's time. Time to stop shrinking. Time to stop over-explaining. Time to stop editing yourself for rooms I sent you to change. You are not here to make peace with dysfunction. You are here to announce a kingdom. A kingdom that heals. A kingdom that restores. A kingdom that makes the unseen seen and the broken whole. And yes, opposition will come. They will question your credentials. They will challenge your boldness. They will try to confuse your clarity. But do not be shaken, because their resistance will only reveal their fear, not your failure. I am your defender. I am your provider. I am your promoter. I am your guide. If you keep your eyes on me, no attack will prosper. Let me tell you something, sacred. I am not building your life on a temporary platform. I am establishing you as a pillar, and pillars do not sway. They uphold. You will uphold truth where it's been compromised. You will uphold love where it's been distorted. You will uphold purity where the waters have been polluted. Not with arrogance, but with purity of heart, with clean hands, with burning eyes that have seen my face. You've seen too much of me to pretend now. You've heard too much from me to be silent now. You've endured too much to bow to fear now. So walk forward, not with apology, but with anointing. Not with performance, but with purpose. Let's talk about your pace, because I don't want you running to prove something. I want you walking to reveal someone. Me. Your rhythm is not determined by urgency. It's determined by intimacy. If I say slow down, slow. If I say turn away, turn. If I say wait, wait. My instruction is your safety. Obedience is not just righteousness, it's protection. I know what lies ahead. I see the traps, the snares, the distractions dressed up as opportunities. This is why discernment must become your daily companion. Discernment isn't suspicion, it's wisdom led by my spirit. I will whisper things that don't make sense in the natural, and you will have to decide, will I obey the whisper or will I follow the crowd? Choose the whisper, every time, even when it costs, even when it isolates, even when it's inconvenient, because the whisper has never failed you. Let me speak now to your inner rhythm. You've lived in reaction long enough. Reaction to criticism. Reaction to expectation. Reaction to pressure. But now I'm inviting you into a new rhythm, a response to me, not the world, not the noise, not the need, just me. And in that response, you will find what you've been aching for all along. Peace that doesn't depend on outcomes. Joy that doesn't depend on circumstances. Clarity that doesn't depend on control. This is the way of the mantle. This is the weight of those who walk with me. You are not a performer on a stage. You are a priest in my temple. You are not a celebrity of men. You are a carrier of my name. You are not called to be liked. You are called to be lit, a burning lamp in dark places. So burn, my child, not out, but bright. Burn with vision, burn with truth, burn with love. And don't apologize for the heat. It's the fire of your calling, and I lit it myself. My child, the time has come. You have walked with me in the valley. You have listened for me in the silence. You have trusted me in the delay. And now you will see what I spoke. The words I planted in your spirit long ago. The ones you whispered back to me in tears. The ones you clung to when nothing around you agreed. Those words are still alive, and now they are waking. Not because your effort has finally proven worthy, but because my timing is perfect. I am not slow to fulfill. I am exact. I am deliberate. I am strategic, and I never forgot a single promise. Even when you buried it. Even when you stopped praying for it. Even when you stopped believing it could still come to pass. I remembered. And now, the dream that once felt like a burden will feel like breath. The promise that once caused you pain will now become a platform for peace. The assignment that once terrified you will now thrill your soul, because you're not stepping into fulfillment as who you were. You're stepping into it as who I've made you. Healed, whole anchored, unshakable. The weight that used to crush you will now carry you. Not because it changed, but because you did. Let's talk about what's ahead. Not in the way of speculation, but in the confidence of what I've already secured. There will be fruit. Yes, fruit. Visible, undeniable evidence of the labor you did in faith. Not just in your hands, but in your heart, in your home, in your legacy. There will be provision, not from the places you expected, but from the wells I have prepared. They've been hidden, but they've been full. You will drink deeply in this season, not from the effort of performance, but from the overflow of presence. There will be divine relationships. People you once only prayed existed will begin to appear, not because you finally became worthy of connection, but because you're now aligned for covenant. And those who once dismissed you will look again, not to be proven wrong, but to witness my rightness. Let's be clear. This season of favor is not about proving yourself. It's about proving my nature. I don't lift you to flex my strength. Lift you to show my faithfulness. Every door that opens now is not a reward. It's a revelation. It will reveal that I never left you. It will reveal that I was always working. It will reveal that the journey wasn't random. It was intentional, holy, exact. You will find yourself standing in places you didn't even have the courage to ask for. You'll hear your name in conversations you didn't initiate. You'll walk through doors you never knocked on. And when you do, remember this. You didn't manipulate your way in. I sent you. That is why the room will respond. That is why favor will surround you like a shield. Because when I send, I cover. When I release, I resource. When I elevate, I establish. No hand but mine will get the glory for this next chapter. Let's talk now about restoration, not just of calling, but of time. The years that were stolen in sorrow, the months swallowed in confusion, the moments that seemed to evaporate in disappointment. None of it was wasted. I have stored it, and now I am returning it with interest, not in repetition, but in acceleration. You will see more fruit in 1 year than you saw in 10. You will experience more clarity in 1 month than you did in all the years of fog. You will walk in more purpose in 1 week than you did in a decade of striving. This is not exaggeration. This is restoration. I am not just redeeming your time. I am redeeming your trust. I am restoring your joy. I am restoring your voice. I am restoring the laughter that used to echo in your soul before life tried to quiet it, and yes, I'm even restoring your wonder, because the road you walked made you wise. But I want to make you childlike again, not naive, not unaware, but full of awe. I want you to look around and be stunned by what I've done. I want you to wake up and breathe deep, not in dread, but in delight. I want you to smile again, not out of politeness, but from the joy that wells up when you live in alignment with me. Let's talk about legacy, because what I do in you will not end with you. Your obedience is planting trees you may never sit under. Your tears have watered soil for generations you won't even meet. The purity of your yes is building foundations for those who will never know your name, but will walk in your footsteps. That's the kind of legacy I build, unseen by most, eternal to me. The ones you're mentoring in the spirit even now, through your words, through your intercession, through your hidden sacrifices, they will carry the sound of your surrender long after your name has faded from platforms. And that is holy. That is heaven's version of well done. You have not lived in vain. You have not endured in vain. You have not hoped in vain. Now I invite you to take your place, not the place you fought to reach, not the place others tried to deny you, the place I've had reserved from the beginning, the seat at the table, not of men's approval, but of divine appointment. Sit in that seat now, wear your identity boldly, stand in your fullness. You are not recovering, you are rising, you are not proving, you are pouring, you are not becoming, you have become, you have walked through the process, you have survived the silence, you have passed the testing, you have stayed when it would have been easier to run. And now, I speak this over your life. It is time to see, time to soar, time to speak without fear, time to move without hesitation, time to release what I've placed in your bones. You are no longer the one waiting, you are the one walking. So walk, my beloved, walk into the fulfillment, walk into the fullness, walk into the fire you no longer fear, and every step will echo a message the earth can no longer ignore. Heaven saw, heaven spoke, heaven moved, and now heaven is here. The story is not ending. The story is unfolding, and you are the living testimony. Amen.